Chief Engineer's Log, Stardate 51125.6. It's been 11 months since we started rebuilding the Constar, and we are finally wrapping up space trials. This has got to be one of the most unique ships in the fleet, the combination of a half a dozen salvaged vessels. But at the heart, she's still the same old Constitution-class starship. There's only a few more tests before we're ready to face the Dominion, and it can't be soon enough. Since Deep Space Nine was surrendered, the situation in the Bajor sector has only gotten worse.
I'm not sure I'll ever get used to these controls. Yeah, you'd think they could have updated the bridge controls at least.
It may look like a relic, but under these consoles, everything is state-of-the-art.
A relic. Like our captain.
What do you mean?
Isn't he supposed to be like 500 years old or something?
There's no way he could be that old.
I heard he was Elarian. They're very long-lived.
You know that's our captain you're gossiping about.
That old hat he wears must be 400 years old at least.
Everything checks out in the engine. How are things here?
Phaser controls online. Still working on torpedo arming systems.
Sir, you've known the captain a long time.
Yes.
How old is he really?
I'm not exactly sure. I know he served on the Valiant.
That ship was in service over 100 years ago. How could he possibly be that old?
At some point I know he was exposed to an exotic form of radiation. He really hasn't aged since.
Is that why he likes a ship that's also over 100 years old?
I know our captain may seem a bit eccentric, but if it weren't for him, none of us would be here today.
Propulsion and weapons were our priority. Let's finish this space trial.
Flux chiller status.
Port nacelle enabled. Starboard.
You got something for me, Doc? I'm sure you heard this before, but you're quite the specimen, Menard. You're right. The effects of your qualithium exposure seem to be dissipating.
What should I expect?
I have no idea. You're the only person on record who's been exposed to the crystal and also the radiation medication. To be honest, we don't know.
Bridge to sickbay. Bridge to sickbay. We have an incoming communication for you.
I'll take it here. I had to consult with the colleagues of mine. That might be her.
Dr. Chilcott, I'm familiar with Captain Menard's condition. I compared the scans you sent me with his previous medical records.
He's here with me right now.
Eric, how are you feeling?
Genuinely fine. This only came up because our doctor here insisted that I do a physical.
I told the captain what I found.
You are right. His cellular activity is starting to return to normal.
So, you think it's not accelerating?
No.
Do you mind translating this for an old engineer?
Eric, I've reviewed the scans that you sent me following your exposure to quadlithium, your scans from this week, and your medical records. It appears that your aging process has returned to normal. You're effectively 2 years older than you were a decade ago.
How long do I have?
Do you want to let him know? Or should I?
Eric, it's my opinion you should expect to live a normal lifespan, as if you were 45 years old. Your real age will not catch up with you if that's what you're worried about.
Wow. Immortality is not all it's cracked up to be. Normal will be nice again. It would have been nicer, though, if this had happened to me when I was 30.
Your engineer.
What about him?
The incident on the Bellerophon? Normally in cases of non-fatal warp coolant exposure, there's residual indications of deep tissue damage. He has none.
There's his scars, though.
Well, that's the strange part. There's no reason for it.
His medical record is inconsistent as well. There are several gaps. I asked Data about it, but he couldn't see any discrepancies, which in itself is strange.
I'm not surprised. Rustos bounced around a lot. He wasn't even formally transferred back to Starport Orchard.
Right. Wolf 359. The chaos of those events could explain the missing medical records.
I'll examine him again. Who knows? I might have missed something.
Do, and let me know what you find. Perhaps it will lead to a better treatment for coolant gas exposure.
Thank you, Beverly.
Yes. Thanks, Bev. Good seeing you again.
And you as well, Captain Menard. Dr. Chilcott, Crusher out.
Right now, we are just guessing what could happen.
Don't all doctors?
Shouldn't Nancy have arrived by now?
She was en route. Her shuttle should have docked by now.
The commander won't be joining us. She's been delayed.
The last of the weapon systems checks are complete, Commander. The new weapon systems have been integrated perfectly.
Excellent. That just leaves sensors.
Sensor simulations are fine. I'm working on long-range resolution tests now.
Captain on the bridge.
Commander? Commander Mickle. Nancy won't be joining us. She's been delayed. Commander Mickle, you will be acting first officer until she returns.
Aye, sir.
Bridge to Menard. Incoming transmission, sir.
I'll take it here.
Captain Menard, the fleet is assembling at Starbase 375. The Constar is ordered to the Bajor sector to join us there.
Understood, sir.
Vanden Boss, out.
Menard Bridge.
Nickel here.
Set a course for the Bajor sector. We're joining the 5th Fleet.
Aye, sir. Helm, set a course for the Bajor sector. Warp 6.
Aye.
Sir, I'm receiving a distress call from a civilian freighter. They're saying that they're refugees from the demilitarized zone and they're under attack.
But we were ordered to join the fleet.
Captain Menard to the bridge.
We're obligated to render aid.
How long to reach the source of the distress call?
6 minutes at warp 9.
Report.
We received a distress
Helm,
call.
alter course to intercept the distress call at warp 9.
Yes, sir.
Bridge to Menard.
Go ahead.
The freighter has been destroyed, but we did manage to transport 3 survivors aboard.
Very well. Menard out. Menard to sickbay.
Sickbay here.
How are refugees?
Refugee. 2 of them didn't make it.
I see.
Sir, it's Mr. Ruiz.
Of course it is. Give me apprised his condition. Menard out. Mr. Russo, do we have a sound check?
Everything checks out, sir. She's as ready as she'll ever be.
Mr. Bartley, set a course for the Bajor sector. Warp 8.
Aye. Course set, sir.
Engage.
incoming transmission.
On screen. Commander Data.
Commander Russo, I am contacting you to inform you that the Enterprise will be arriving in 3.2 hours to pick you up. Commander Picard will then transfer your command to Lieutenant Commander Lawrence.
We'll be ready to receive you.
I am curious. We are dropping you off at Bremerton 2 for the salvage of the Constar. At what purpose?
It is per the order of Admiral Vanderboss. There were some unique upgrades that Captain Menard and I had put into service. We intend to refit her.
Ah, I was on the understanding that the Constar was a complete loss and unable to be salvaged.
Most of the engineering section and the nacelles can be recovered. The saucer, however, well, we'll salvage what we can in order to expedite construction of the new hull. Was there something else?
Yes. There are a number of inconsistencies in your transfer records I would like to clarify. You were injured when the Barafon's warp core had a catastrophic failure during its shakedown. Several cooling lines were ruptured.
Yes?
Your records indicate you were transferred to the Haven with the other injured. However, it is also listed you received your field commission of Chief Petty Officer on the same stardate.
I wasn't hurt that badly. I did help transport many of the injured to the Haven, but later returned to the Bellerophon to oversee repairs.
I have experienced that warp core cooling exposure can be quite damaging to biological tissue.
I was lucky.
There is also no record of your transfer from the Bellerophon to Starport Orchard.
That was shortly before the Bellerophon joined the Defense Force at Wolf 359. She was destroyed before log and record transfers to the station could be completed.
This would explain some of the missing information. Perhaps I should reconcile what I have with Starfleet Command.
Didn't I say that's not necessary, Commander? There is nothing wrong with my record.
Everything is in order. I am looking forward to meeting you in person. Data out.